Welcome back to the Me Podcast with your host, Daniel Bryant. I know I've been gone for a while, but it's because I've been doing a lot of works behind the scenes. And one of those things are my Me HBCU Scholarship in honor of my late grandmother, Ruth Bailey Bryant. Ruth Bailey Bryant attended two HBCUs, that being Shaw University and North Carolina Central University. So I wanted to give honor to her, and what better way to make a scholarship based on education than doing this. So without further ado, we are in the Me Scholarship Showcase featuring the 5 finalists for this scholarship. My first guest for this episode is Gabrielle Whitaker, who is a student at Bethune-Cookman University. So without further ado, I'm going to add her to the call. Hey Gabrielle, how are you doing? How's life going?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. I have you on this as a finalist.
Thank you.
All right. So we're not going to hold much longer. We're going to go straight into these questions. So my first question is going to briefly, you just go over a little bit about your adversity and just share with the viewers a little bit about what you went through and how you overcame it.
I talk a lot about going through struggles, and I don't like the word poverty, but going through struggles, especially with my family. And we moved to Atlanta when I was really young, and we didn't really have anything. I remember sleeping in hotels some days. But the best part was we had each other, my mom, dad, my little brother. So we were always a family. And I was thinking, I was like, yeah, everyone goes through something, whether you're privileged or not. Everyone goes through something somewhere in their life. But I don't think my biggest adversity would be my privilege or lack thereof. I think it would be more of my mindset. And that's a lot of people's adversity and a lot of people's struggle. Because you can come from the best place or you come from the worst place. But if you don't have the drive and if you don't have the mindset to do what you have to do, then it's not going to get done. So for me personally, I didn't have the opportunity. And my parents didn't know what boarding school was until I brought it to them. I was like, I want to go here. And that was like 4th grade. But I got the opportunity to go, and I received my full scholarship to go to that $60,000 school because I pushed myself. And I still have drive, and sometimes I don't speak on it because there's no reason to. You just got to do what you got to do, and you keep it pushing. But I mean, everyone has their own mindset, and whether you want to have to do what you got to do or not, and you can come from the best background ever. You can have all that you want. If you don't have the drive to keep that going for your family and for your future, then you're not going to have anything at the end of the day. You're going to lose it all. And personally, my motivation is that my parents supported me. So I have that drive to continue to go for my future and for when I do have children, that they will have those opportunities that sometimes I didn't or I did have or didn't get.
Wow. That's truly amazing. And like I said, I just love when you talked about how you shifted, the adversity, going through those troubling times or even the good times where you felt privileged. But, you said it was with your mindset. And that's a lot of things that I speak on, that our mindset will get us out of a lot of different things. So I'm glad that you, put an emphasis on, well, I got to change the mindset and how I think about my problems to be able to get past them. So now I want to move into the next question. And that next question is talking a little bit about education. About this application, I wanted to make sure because my grandma was very, very important and very adamant about getting an education. And I just want you to go over a little bit about why your education was important and why was it important you going to an HBCU.
My education personally is important because my parents didn't have the best, especially my dad. He had my older brother when he was really young, so he didn't really get that college experience. He had a football scholarship for Syracuse, and he didn't get to use that. My mom, she did it in college, and she's actually one of my biggest motivators now. So I think the biggest thing that would help when I receive the scholarship, when I receive the scholarship, is when I continue to push myself and not only motivate myself, but my community. Because I honestly think there's nothing, like, you can do what you got to do, But if you don't help others, there's really no point of doing what you have to do. And I want to be a civil rights attorney, and everyone always pushes me to do what I need and to continue to be the best person I can, especially my grandfather. And I want to attend Bethune-Cookman, and I am attending Bethune-Cookman because my grandfather went there, my great-grandparents were there. My grandmother actually met my grandfather there. So there's a lot of history at that school. And I know that it will continue to push me and that I can take my education not only from Bethune, but to the outside world. And I think that's one of the best things when someone they know that they didn't grow up with the best upbringing, but they take that, they use it as drive, and then they place it in other communities where they grew up.
And I think, like you said, one of the most important things that you said was, you don't only want to just, succeed within your own self and the things that you do. You want to actually go further and outside those walls of Bethune-Cookman. How can I help the community, right? Because what's worth of, gaining all this knowledge and gaining all this education, but you can't share it with the person right next to you, So I think that's very important. And, I know you will be on the pathway of, being important, especially being as a civil rights attorney, as a Black woman, being in that place to help. Like I said, that's very, very important, just to have some representation of our skin color, and you being a woman. I think that's very important. And about how you want your motivation, your drive of what you lack, you want to make abundance for others. So I really truly appreciate that.
Thank you.
So my last question, I want to go in depths of, my business is called Me Motivated and Empowered, and those are kind of the two words that we use for everything. And I want you to go in depth. We talked a little bit about you helping your community, but how are you going to motivate and empower your community?
So when I was younger, I talk about my family motivating me, but I didn't have a lot of older students motivate me. And I believe even if I don't receive the scholarship, it was an amazing opportunity to be able to do this. But I would like to push that, and like I said before, place it in other communities. And one of my biggest projects that I've been dreaming about for the past 2 years is like Magic School Bus. We rent a bus or we buy a bus, and I decorate the inside of it for reading. And children in different communities can come inside the bus and they feel motivated by volunteers to continue to read, because reading is one of the most important things. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been reading as I should be, especially because school is out and I'm drained. But I know that reading is so fundamental. And my grandma, she used to talk about that a lot, and I believe that's one of the reasons that I continue to do what I have to do. And my mom, she doesn't play about that summer reading and that summer schoolwork. Yeah. So if I have summer reading, I'm reading. But I don't like reading by force. And I want to make sure other people understand. Education does not have to be forceful. It can actually be an enjoyment. It's what you make of it. And like I said in the beginning, it's your mindset. But I don't want students my age or even younger than me, especially younger than me, because I feel like that's your foundation. That was my foundation. To feel like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, this sucks. This actually sucks, because I really did. I do enjoy school, but once I hit 12th grade year, I was tired. But I enjoy school so much, and I want to make sure other people feel that and not feel like I got to do this because everybody else wants me to do it. So I believe that's one of my main goals, and to push that into communities and to have volunteers, not only at Bethune-Cookman, but in my community now. Right now, my mom, she did work her way up. So I'm proud of her. She was a nurse. Well, she is a nurse currently. So we went from living in hotels and everything to now we live in Orlando in this nice gated community. And I'm proud of my mom for that. Wow. And so I want to be able to help people understand that where you are now does not mean that's where you're going to be in 18 years. Because 18 years ago, we were sleeping in shelters. Yep. So, but now my mom has a child that's going to attend at HBCU, something that she didn't get the opportunity to do, but I'm going to be doing it because she pushed me.
Wow. I'm proud for your mom too, and I don't even know it. Like that story just stuck with me. That was amazing. Like that added me some motivation in the news. But the one thing you did talk about that magic school bus. That used to be the show back in the day. What? The magic school bus we used to watch in school. So, but I really truly think that's amazing. And like you said, putting that emphasis on reading is just so important for people to know the importance of reading, and like I said, not by force, but in enjoyment. Being able to add knowledge to you, that's just amazing, and you can't beat that. So I'm just glad that you're doing that, and that you set out a way, how can I help my community? Like I said, big ups to your mom, because I can already tell just the way you talk about her, she's a big motivator in your life, and she's shown you what motivation looks like, within her own struggle. So that's amazing for you to be able to see that up hand and then apply it to your life.
Yeah, it is, honestly.
Those were all the questions for this. You, and peace and blessings to your future at Bethune-Cookman and to your future endeavors.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's all for that interview. But like always, stay motivated and stay empowered.